Hernany in Spanish. I'm 20. I'm about to be 21, and I'm going on my third year in community college,
Nice.
and I'm about to transfer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, hopefully, Berkeley, but
Okay.
we'll see.
What's another
I'm a,
goal?
I'm applying to SD, LA, and Irvine, but I really want to go to Berkeley.
You don't want to stay in San Diego?
No, not
Yeah.
really.
No, I mean Berkeley's like a dream. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping for you.
thank you.
Okay. What is your favorite activity to do right now outside of like school or work?
I have a few, so sometimes I just like listening to music, whether it be like in the car or like just sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
If I am sitting at home, I like browsing for clothes online.
Mm,
Like I just like doing that. Even though like I'm not gonna buy anything,
yeah.
I like get excited and I spend hours like researching clothes and like looking at clothes and all
Mm-hmm.
that, but I never buy anything. So that's like something I do while I'm at home. When I'm outside of home, like I just drive, hang out with friends,
Yeah.
buy clothes like at markets
Yeah.
and
You go to markets a lot.
yeah.
Which one is your favorite one in SD?
My favorite one in SD has to be Day to Day Vintage.
Where's
It's
that?
behind the observatory. They have it once a month, every second Saturday. So
Oh.
it'll be like a bunch of vendors behind the observatory, and they'll just like post up and sell a bunch of clothes.
Is it like what are you like what's the price range for that one usually?
I would say like it can get expensive, but I would say like from 5 to like 200 maybe. Like there's
Wow.
pieces that go for a lot, so yeah.
And like I've always wondered about that. How do you know if it's like actually worth it if it's on the like, higher end?
Like for like someone like browsing.
Yeah, for you. Like or
So
like, a tip for someone who's trying to get into that.
whether it's worth it, it's just kind of like a big like rabbit hole. So you gotta
Yeah.
like look into like, oh, like when was a shirt made, or at least when you're looking at
Oh.
real vintage,
Right.
because sometimes people advertise it as vintage and
That,
it's not
that's
vintage.
what I'm saying.
So it's like you sometimes they have like little dates on the shirts. Like this one says
Oh.
1989, so
Okay.
I know it's like older. But there's
Okay.
sometimes that say, oh yeah, it's vintage, and it'll be from like 2010.
Ah.
So they'll like try to play you.
So are you like when you're kind of going through the bins or the racks, are you like on your phone trying to like research?
Well, on the racks, yeah, but at the bins, I kind of already know what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
So like I know what I'm looking for. I know what's good and what's not good.
Mm.
And even if I'm not sure, like I'll grab it, and at the end, like I'll just search it up.
Oh,
Like once
okay.
I'm done like searching.
And then you're like, okay, fine, I'll pay for it. Or
Yeah,
no, I won't pay for it.
yeah, because it's just like $1 too. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
It's okay. That's then if it's like something like that, I'm like, okay, I'll
yeah.
just throw it in. Okay. Um, what is a talent or skill that you possess that you feel like a lot of people don't know about you?
I guess I'm a fast learner. Like I
Okay.
learn things pretty fast, and like when I'm interested in something, I pick it up really fast.
Mm.
So like for example, when I have like a new hobby, I'll research it. Like I'll research everything about it and get really deep into it
Oh,
and like get pretty good at it pretty fast.
okay.
And recently now like that I focus on school more, I kind of use that like skill to like get more into school and
Yeah.
like learn like have a learning be a hobby so that like every subject I'm like always searching it
Yeah.
up and all that.
I was just gonna say like you're probably really good at like research projects and whatnot
Yeah.
because it's like you that's like what you have to do
Yeah.
and you're already so good at it.
Yeah.
That's a really good skill to have, honestly. Um, okay. What's an accomplishment, personal project, or extracurricular activity that you're proud of working on?
An extracurricular activity that I'm proud of working on is like my clothing business. I feel
Please
like
share.
I actually started selling clothes like I would say freshman year to middle school.
Wow.
So like 6 years ago,
Okay.
and it'd be like through my allowance, like I'd buy
Ah.
like clothes and I would sell them and I would keep the money and then just build it up,
Yeah.
and then eventually like I would keep doing that until I would buy racks,
Mm,
more clothes, hangers,
right.
and then now I just have more clothes. Like I have a few racks of clothes and I
Yeah.
just take to events and just sell them there.
Casual plug. Go ahead.
So my Instagram is VTGPOV, and I usually go to like San Diego markets, like Kobe's. Not Day to Day. Day to Day is too good for me. But, Kobe's, Hotspot. I'm trying to Lucky Stars, and Soul Real as well.
Nice. I
Yeah.
love that. Do you feel like that's something that like I didn't ask like what your, future profession you want to be, but like is this something that you want to continue doing for a while?
I don't know about for a while, because I would say once I transfer to like a university,
Right.
I kind of want to let go of that,
Yeah.
because I really want to focus when I transfer. I mean,
Yeah.
I still focus now, but over there, like when I leave everything, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a whole different thing. But it's more of like a hobby that turned into a business.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't see it as a business. I see it more as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I'm into the hobby, like that means my business is gonna do better.
Exactly.
But like more recently, like I wasn't really into it as much, and so like I didn't sell as much.
Mm.
But it's almost like, yeah, just a hobby. Like
Yeah.
it's not really like I'm not trying to open a store. Or anything.
Right. It's not like your livelihood or
Yeah.
like what it's good. It's not going to be your livelihood.
Yeah.
So like, and what do you want to do? Like when you transfer, like your 5-year plan.
So I'm transferring for cognitive science.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm really interested in like philosophy, psychology, and like the study of like the human mind.
Uh-huh.
But with what I want to have a career in, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're still browsing.
Yeah, but I feel like the study of cognitive science allows me to go like anywhere.
Honestly, it does.
Yeah.
Like you could go really any route. Honestly, just knowing like how people work
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
useful in today's society. I
Yeah.
think we really need more of that subject being taught and also like pursued.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of got off track, but in terms of like starting your own business,
Mhm.
what tips would you give someone trying to do something similar?
I say don't worry about the money.
Okay.
Like, if you're worried about the money, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
At least like when it stems from a hobby, for example, like mine, I stopped worrying about the money and I feel like it got better
Ah.
because I enjoy doing it more, and the more I enjoy doing it, the better I perform.
Right.
But there's people that go in for the money and don't really like try to make it, or they try to make it better through the money but not through like the engagement or like
Right.
the personality behind the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like, at least for clothes. I don't know about anything else.
I mean, like you know what you know, and like
Yeah.
that's something that you see consistently. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like other people who have like similar businesses to you that are like
Yeah.
consistently focusing on the money and like not focusing on like the people engagement and
Yeah.
like what type of clothes they're selling or whatnot?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that declines quickly when they're thinking about one thing?
Yeah, that declines quickly, and like you could also just tell, like some
Mm.
people like will sew clothes, but like their like assortment of clothes doesn't really match them.
Ah, okay.
So it doesn't really like reel people in.
Yeah.
Like if I see someone like dresses nice, I'm like, oh, like I kind of like the way he dresses, and then go into his booth, they'll probably have like clothes similar to what he wears.
Yeah.
But when like someone isn't really like, doesn't have that style,
Mm-hmm.
like their assortment of clothes is just everywhere.
Yeah, because I feel like in this type of like business, like you got to put your personality into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like also like selling your personality as well as the
Yeah.
clothes. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so since you are trying to go and study cognitive science,
Mhm.
in terms of like, you can answer this question in
Mhm.
terms of education or just like life, but what does education mean to you?
It's actually like, it means a lot, and I didn't like that didn't happen until very recently,
Mm.
because I'm Hispanic, I'm first generation, and I'm low income.
Okay.
So like it's like very important for me to chase an education, and I didn't know that like probably like 2 years ago, because it wasn't really pushed upon like my community.
Okay.
And it wasn't until like I got more exposed to it and like what education brings and the networking it brings, that like I was able to see that it's actually really important.
Mhm.
Because before, like I was just worried about like, oh, like getting a job and like starting a business.
Yeah.
And then eventually like that switched, and now like I'm more like into the education.
Yeah.
And like chasing an education.
Mm-hmm. I feel like wanting to learn it's like an impressive trait to have,
Mhm.
because like we are in a society where money is very important
Yeah.
to live, but at the end of the day, like working
Mhm.
to like, or like serve, what is that? There's like a like common phrase that a lot of people use, like if you're like living to work, then you're not going to be happy in your
Yeah.
life. But like
Yeah.
if whatever, cut that out because I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. But it is very like, in today's society, money is a very prominent issue. as it should be.
Yeah.
But I think we also lose sight of the importance of you only have one life. Live it to the best of your abilities, and like to like do what you want and not what everyone else is like pushing on you.
Yeah.
I think like since you are so young and you decided that education is important to you and you want to actually learn and be a learner instead of like focusing on the money, like money will come, you know? And I think like having that mentality of like money will come is very important.
Yeah, like that mentality of like money will come is like good, but it's also bad sometimes.
Yes, sometimes it is bad.
Yeah.
I do agree. I do agree. Tell me why do you think it's bad?
I just spend a lot of money.
Yeah, that too. You kind of lose sight of like, wait, my bank account is dwindling.
Yeah. But I always be like, oh, like the money comes. Like.
Yeah. Okay. So going off like the education question, what is a topic or like skill that you think should be taught in schools that isn't being currently?
I think like financial literacy. Because I feel like everyone needs to know like how to handle money and how to handle their own money and like what everything means, like what interest rates are, how to handle like credit cards, how to handle like maybe a business. And I just think they're not doing it because a lot of businesses like consist of taking advantage of those people.
True.
So that's why they're not doing it.
That's actually a really good take on it, because when you think about it, that's completely the reason. You know, because it's I feel like, you know, we like the education system has so much money to throw at like one teacher to teach, you know, 100 students per hour or whatever. Like they can, I think they just choose not to, because you're completely right. Okay, tell me about someone who's left an impact on you and why.
The group of friends that I've made definitely creates impact on like what I want in life. So depending on what kind of group of friends I'm hanging out with, it changes the goals that I have in my like life. Because like when you're in a group of like friends that are going to school, it changes like your goals, whether or against like when you're in a group of friends who just work. It's not bad to work, but sometimes like I saw myself like not growing much like myself, so I was like, oh, I need an education. And then that kind of like shifted me to go into another friend group. And like we all kind of push each other to like keep going.
My mom always used to tell me that you are who you're friends with.
Yeah.
And I really did see that, especially when I was your age. I was like, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I didn't realize it until recently.
Exactly. Yeah. It's you realize it when you kind of have to like, you have to in a way. Yeah. Sometimes it sucks, but you look back on it, like you're going to look back on it in like 5 years and be like, no, that was good. I'm glad.
I mean, it's not like I'm not hanging out with them anymore.
Of course.
Just like we just don't hang out as much.
Yeah. It's like the closeness kinds of fades.
Yeah.
Or closeness kind of fades.
Yeah.
But that honestly, that comes with like just growing up, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there a cause or social issue that you're passionate about, and why is it important to you?
So I'm from like Imperial Beach. And the Tijuana River is like really bad, and it stinks up the whole community.
Right.
And it's really bad for the air. And no one's done anything about it. So I think that's a very important issue that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I honestly, I would ask you a question of like, how do you think it'll get fixed? I don't think anyone knows that answer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get fixed, because I mean, realistically, like the only way it could get fixed is to take the trash out, and that's through like probably make like a, what's it called, like
a filter.
Yeah, filter like on the river to like filter out all the trash. But
that would cost so much money that they're not willing to spend.
Especially not like in Imperial Beach. Because it's like it's not a low income community, but like the surrounding areas are pretty low income. And it's so close to the border as well. So
that too.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give someone who's trying to make a positive impact on their community?
Don't expect anything back.
Oh.
Like, don't do something because it'll make you feel better, or don't do something because you expect like karma, like good karma.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like I'll do this, hopefully like I get paid through good karma.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't always happen. Like some people like do like a ton of good in their life and they never get paid back, and they worry that like their life wasn't enough because they never got paid back.
Yeah.
But it's more about like the impact that they did on like the community and like
Yeah. It's more of like what you do for others and not how you feel about it. I think I'm a victim of this too sometimes.
No, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that felt so good to like donate that money or like clean up that beach.
Yeah.
But like, no, like, oh, now the beach is clean,
now
yay.
the beach is clean,
or like now that person has extra money, yay. Like I think we focus too much on how it makes us feel, but it's a bad habit. I gotta kick.
Like I think we all need to work on it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like something that is good to look at and like to work on.
For sure. I agree with that. Let's see. Okay, so what is a challenge that you've had to work through, and how do you feel like it shaped you to the person that's sitting here right now?
I think being low income.
Okay.
Like not having enough money. Not necessarily in the way where like I couldn't buy whatever I wanted, but having to think about money rather than like an education early on.
Yeah.
Like, because I got my first job when I was 16.
Wow.
And so I had been working until April of this year. Like, yeah.
Wow.
So I've had 4 jobs, and that's only because like I always felt like I needed money to support myself because my parents didn't have enough to like make me go to school or like and all that. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't really want to go to college in high school, because I was like, oh, like I don't want to be in debt. And how am I going to pay all this money? So I started like the business and I started working a lot, and eventually like that changed, and I felt like I saved enough money to where like I don't need to work, and now I'm able to chase an education without worrying about money.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you give someone who also like came from a low income family and is having that mentality of like, do I work or do I go to school? Like, what should I do?
I think that they should definitely look at the resources, because I feel like, at least in California, there's tons of resources for low income.
Yeah.
And like there's programs just such as Triple V that help with like scholarships and grants.
FAFSA.
Yeah, FAFSA.
You know, in California, you get the first year of college free, or like, is it 2?
For community college, it's the first 2.
Oh yeah.
But I've gone my 3 years for free. Yeah, so I get paid to go to school.
Yeah. Through
FAFSA and through grants, and I'm still chasing scholarships. And there's scholarships that are given to people that are just low income.
Yeah.
There's that. There's a lot of like support programs that even if they don't give you like financial aid, they give you like help with tutoring or help with like internships.
Yes.
So yeah, chasing education.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, this is like the second to last question. Last question is not really like a question. But what do you think is usually left out, in your case, out of like a standard application? So when you're applying to like scholarships or internships or whatever, and it's more of a essay type application, what do you think gets left out?
I guess the stuff that like I've gone through, like the personal experiences when it comes to like being low income, Hispanic, and first generation. Like there's a lot of things that aren't really talked about that we have to like face.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of companies don't really go into that or like ask for that. And that's why I wanted to go to USC, because UCs look at that.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so interested in specifically Berkeley, because I heard they read your essays. They actually read your essays.
Oh, really?
So I've been writing like a lot about myself in my essays.
Yeah.
So hopefully they read it.
Hopefully they read it. I mean, if they say they read it, then hopefully they read it.
I mean, hopefully they look at it and they're like, oh yeah, this guy should go in.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm hoping for you, honestly. Okay, so the last question is, you know, you walked in here and you saw the equipment and the lights and, you know, the swivel chairs.
Yeah.
Usually what will happen is like the kids sit down and they're super intimidated by everything. What's a piece of advice that you would give them?
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's not like that intimidating. I mean, it's a little intimidating, but just we just had a conversation.
Exactly.
It's not like we were looking at the camera the entire time or like, you know.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on your journey to hopefully getting into UC Berkeley. Hopefully. And if not, another amazing college.
Like UCSD?
Like UCSD?
Yeah.
Like UCSD. Go Trojans. YouTube, if you enjoyed this person's story, don't forget to subscribe below to hear more from our inspiring youth. If you want to apply for our Storyteller Scholarship or get more involved in our organization, click the link below to apply. Thanks for watching!